The episode opens with Yuji standing face to face with a massive cursed spirit. Yuji runs to escape the curse, jumping from one building to another. Suddenly, the curse grabs Yuji in its hand, but out of nowhere, someone strikes the curse, and it falls right on top of Yuji. The one who killed the curse was Yuta, who is actually here to kill Yuji. The story now goes a bit back in time. We see Naoya Zenin, the youngest son of the Zenin clan, talking about how Maki still isn't dead. He says a girl like her deserves to die anyway, someone who doesn't listen to the men of the clan. At least Mai knows she's a woman. Naoya then meets Junichi and Oji Zenin, who scold him, saying your father is counting his final breaths and you're only coming now? Naoya replies that it doesn't matter. Everyone knows I'm going to be the next head of the Zenin clan. All my older brothers are useless. Uncle Oji, you don't even have a son, just 2 daughters. And Junichi, your face itself is ruined, nothing like your brother Toji. Hearing this, both of them get furious. In reality, all 3 of them are special grade 1 sorcerers. Just then, they receive the news that Naobito Zenin, the head of the Zenin clan, has passed away, and his will is about to be read. His final wish states that after him, Naoya will become the next head of the Zenin clan. All land, property, and cursed tools stored in Jujutsu High's vault will belong to Naoya. However, if anything happens to Satoru Gojo, if he dies or becomes incapacitated, then Toji's last wish will be fulfilled, and Megumi will become the head of the Zenin clan, inheriting everything. Naoya doesn't like this at all. He finds out that Megumi is currently in Tokyo, searching for Yuji. Naoya then makes a plan to kill both Yuji and Megumi. With millions of cursed spirits roaming Tokyo right now, no one will question how Megumi dies. Once Megumi is gone, there'll be no one left to claim the inheritance, and Naoya alone will become the head of the Zenin clan. On the other side, we see Yuji sitting alone. Choso comes to him and asks how his wounds are now. Yuji says he's fine, probably because of Sukuna. Choso can also feel Yuji's power increasing. He tells Yuji to return to Jujutsu High, but Yuji says he can't. Sukuna is planning something against Megumi, and countless innocent people have died by my hands. I can't go back to anyone. I even killed your brothers. Choso says that was a misunderstanding. They would have forgiven you too, because we're brothers, and that's what matters the most. Yuji says for now, let's focus on exorcising the cursed spirits here. Yuji starts running through the city, drawing countless curses toward him. Some cursed spirits are destroyed with just one punch. He lures them all into an underground bridge, where Choso is waiting on the other side. Using his piercing blood technique, Choso wipes them all out in a single shot. One curse comes from behind Choso, but Yuji punches it away instantly. Choso thinks to himself, you were already powerful when you fought me, but now you've learned to control cursed energy. You're not fully recovered, yet you're like a demon god. This is exactly what I expected from my little brother. He's about to tell Yuji something about his father, but suddenly Naoya appears and asks, where's Megumi? He hasn't shown up yet? And you two still haven't run away? Yuji asks, why would we run? Naoya replies that you've been sentenced to death. Gojo isn't here anymore, so no one can protect you. Because of Gojo, the higher-ups never push too hard. Naoya continues, I actually came here to kill Megumi, but I might as well take care of you too. He rushes Yuji and punches him. When Choso tries to attack, Naoya instantly gets behind him and rains down punches. Naoya is far faster than both of them. Choso realizes he must have some kind of technique. Naoya wonders to himself, this kid is Sukuna's vessel. But who is this other guy? Suddenly, they feel an overwhelming surge of cursed energy. Yuji thinks, could that be Gojo-sensei? But when they turn around, it's Yuta. He jumps down from the building, creating a massive crater on the ground. Naoya says, you're Yuta, right? The one assigned to kill Yuji. Hearing this, Yuji remembers he's a second-year student and a special grade sorcerer, just like Gojo. Naoya tells Yuta that he also came to kill Yuji, but he won't interfere with Yuta's job. Choso tells Yuji to run and says he'll handle Naoya. If you fight Yuta, you'll die. He's just like Gojo. Yuji starts running, but Yuta is right behind him. Meanwhile, Choso attacks Naoya with blood manipulation, but Naoya dodges easily and says, blood manipulation, huh? Other than piercing blood, there's nothing to fear. And piercing blood takes time to charge, which means I can kill you easily. Choso replies, do you really think you can attack my brother and walk away alive? Meanwhile, Yuta catches up to Yuji. This is the same scene we saw at the beginning of the episode. Yuji wasn't running from a curse, he was running from Yuta. A fight breaks out between Yuji and Yuta, and Yuji is clearly being overwhelmed. Yuta may look gentle, but his cursed energy is on a completely different level. He's the exact opposite of Yuji. Yuji is physically strong, but his cursed energy is limited. Yuta explains that he has even more cursed energy than Gojo-sensei, but Gojo has the 6 eyes, which means his energy never runs out. That's why he's number 1. My cursed energy can be depleted, but his never does. Yuta attacks Yuji again, and with such massive cursed energy, Yuji can't even predict his moves. Every attack could be fatal, and Yuji's strikes don't even affect Yuta. Still, Yuji refuses to give up. He picks up a knife. Gojo once told him that some sorcerers use weapons, but you must control cursed energy to do so. Yuji blocks Yuta's katana with the knife, but Yuta says you're focusing too much on the blade and punches Yuji hard. Yuji kicks and breaks Yuta's katana, shocking him. After all, Yuji is Gojo's student too. Yuji decides he can fight Yuta better without weapons and charges at him. Suddenly, a massive curse grabs Yuji from behind. It's Rika. Yuji has no idea where she came from. She holds him so tightly that he can't even move. Yuta steps forward with his broken blade and stabs it straight into Yuji's chest, saying, I'm sorry. Yuji Itadori dies.
And we also see Sukuna sitting calmly inside Yuji.
On the other side, Naoya was beating Choso using his super speed.
Choso couldn't even understand Naoya's technique, but even after taking so many hits, he kept standing back up.
Naoya says, "Why are you so stubborn?
What even are you?" Choso replies, "I'm the big brother of 10 people."
Choso now uses a technique called flowing red scale, which strengthens his eyes so he can see Naoya's super speed. Naoya goes in to attack again, and this time Choso actually grabs him, but Naoya stabs him in the stomach with a knife, and Choso's blood starts pouring out. Naoya says, "You're really stubborn, so I had to use a weapon."
You can use blood manipulation, right?
Then you should be able to stop your bleeding easily.
But let's see how long you can keep fighting like this. And by the way, don't tell anyone I used a knife.
I really hate sorcerers who walk around with weapons.
My big brothers are just as shameless, they used to curse Toji too.
Choso asks, "Do you hate your brothers?"
Naoya replies, "Yeah, absolutely.
A big brother who's weaker than his little brother should just drown and die." Choso says, "Maybe it's because of your big brothers that you're so powerful today." A big brother is a role model for his younger siblings. If he walks the wrong path, he stops them from following it. If he walks the right path, they follow him.
Maybe you're strong because your big brothers are weak.
You ask why I'm so stubborn, because I don't have any role model.
Naoya looks down and sees Choso's blood spread everywhere.
Choso continues, "No matter how many mistakes I make, I have to stay ahead of my brothers.
That's why I'm strong."
And then a flood of blood appears.
Naoya can't understand how Choso was still alive after losing so much blood.
What he doesn't know is that Choso is a death painting womb, a hybrid between a curse and a human. He can convert cursed energy into blood, so as long as he has cursed energy,
he won't die from blood loss.
Naoya keeps escaping from Choso's blood, but suddenly his feet stick to the ground. The blood on the floor acts like glue and traps him. Then Choso starts attacking with piercing blood.
But Naoya actually has his father's 24 FPS technique, allowing him to move 24 times in a single second.
What he didn't know was that Choso has a supernova technique, created through hundreds of years of effort, which lets him attack the target from all directions.
Naoya gets caught in it. Choso is about to kill Naoya, but suddenly Yuta appears from behind and knocks Choso out with a punch.
He also brought Yuji's body with him.
Naoya starts vomiting because Choso isn't human, and his blood works like poison for Naoya.
Yuta says, "I can heal you with my reverse cursed technique. I can heal other people too, but in return, you'll have to tell the higher-ups that I killed Yuji."
After that, we see a vision of Yuji from when he was a child. He sees his father Jin.
Then Yuji's grandfather Waisuk appears and tells Jin, "Live your life however you want, but stay away from that woman, or you'll die." Jin says, "Don't say things like that in front of the child.
Kids remember everything."
Waisuk replies, "I know you wanted a child, but Kori deaf."
Just then, a woman appears and asks, "What happened, father-in-law?"
This is Yuji's mother, Kori, and we can see the same mark on her forehead as the fake ghetto. The dream ends here, and Yuji wakes up.
Yuta is sitting beside him and says, "Thank God you're alive."
Yuta explains that a few months ago, Gojo-sensei came to see him and asked him to look after Yuji.
That's why Yuta only pretended to fight Yuji.
Gojo said, "If something happens to me, Yuta, take care of the first and second years.
Hikari can handle himself.
And especially, take care of Yuji.
He's just like you, he's already been sentenced to death once." That's why Yuta pretended to kill Yuji. If he had refused, someone else would have been sent to kill him. The higher-ups aren't stupid.
Yuta says, "To actually kill you, I made a binding vow with them, so I really had to kill you."
Yuji asks, "Then how am I alive?" Yuta replies, "The moment your heart stopped, I instantly healed you using reverse curse technique. That way, the vow stayed intact, and you didn't die." For Yuji, dying and coming back isn't anything new. Most people don't know that Yuta can heal others like this. Someday they'll find out, but for now, Yuji is dead to the world. Yuji asks, "Why did you do all this for me?"
Yuta says, "The people I care about you. I once had dangerous power too, but your power isn't even yours and none of this is your fault."
Then Megumi arrives and tells Yuji, "We're going back to Jujutsu High. We can sneak you in."
Yuji says he can't go because so many people died because of him in the Shibuya incident.
Megumi says, "It wasn't your fault. You can't give up. We're not heroes, we're Jujutsu sorcerers.
No one will understand us, but we still have to keep helping people to prove we exist." Yuji thinks to himself that he can't stay with them because they'll be in danger too.
Megumi then says, "I need your help. Kenjaku has started a killing game where Jujutsu sorcerers can kill each other.
It's called the Culling Game, and my sister Sumiki has been forcibly added to it. That's why I need you." Then we're told some of the Culling Game rules. All players must enter within 19 days.
If anyone breaks a rule, their cursed technique will be removed, leading to death. To participate, they must enter a colony. Killing others earns points. There are more rules we'll talk about later. Yuji tells Yuta that Sukuna is planning something involving Megumi. In Shibuya, Yuji was fed many of Sukuna's fingers, letting Sukuna take control of his body. Now Yuji has 15 fingers inside him. He believes Sukuna can't take control anymore, but if he ever does, Yuta must kill him immediately. Yuta agrees. Yuji asks Megumi what they should do next. Megumi says their first step is to return to Jujutsu High and meet Master Tengen to ask how they can free Gojo and what Kenjaku is planning in the Culling Game. Only Tengen can answer those questions. Yuji asks if Yuki knows about this. Megumi says it was Yuki's idea, and she's already hiding at Jujutsu High.
Yuji asks how they'll pass Tengen's barrier, which has 1,000 rotating doors, and only one leads to the Tomb of the Star Corridor.
If they choose wrong, they won't reach Tengen. Yuji asks about Nobara. Megumi stays silent and lowers his head, meaning Nobara is no longer in this world. Yuji feels crushed. Then Choso arrives and says he knows a way into the barrier. Mahito once stole death paintings and Sukuna's fingers from there, and they'll do the same.
They reach Jujutsu High, where they meet Maki, who looks completely different after Jogo burned her in Shibuya. Due to heavenly restriction, her body healed, but the scars remain.
Yuki is there too.
Choso explains that on the way to the Star Corridor, there's a vault where Jujutsu High stores cursed tools and objects. Inside it, Choso can sense his 6 brothers' death paintings. Maki asks who this guy is. Yuji says, for now, just think of him as my brother, which makes Choso really happy. Choso shows them the correct door, and they reach the Star Corridor. He can also see the path to the vault and says he'll free his brothers soon. They find bloodstains on the floor, the same place where Toji shot Riko. Yuki explains that an incident happened here 12 years ago, and everything went wrong from that moment. They enter the main hall, but there's nothing except light. Yuki says Tengen only shows himself when he wants to. With Gojo sealed, she thought Tengen would want to meet them. They start to leave, when suddenly Tengen calls out to them. How are you doing, children of the Zenin clan? Maki, blood of Michizane, Yuta. Death painting, Choso, and Sukuna's vessel, Yuji. Yuki says, so there's nothing for me, and Tengen replies, it's not like this is our first time meeting. Yuki asks why he sealed the Star Corridor. Tengen says, I was afraid you might be working with Kenjaku too. I can't look into a human's heart, you know. Yuki asks, who is Kenjaku? Tengen explains, the man inside fake Geto's body is named Kenjaku. At one time, he used to be Noritoshi Kumo. Yuji then asks Tengen, why do you look so strange? Tengen says, I'm immortal, but I still age. Try living for 500 years, you'd look like this too. 12 years ago, I was supposed to merge with a star plasma vessel, but that didn't happen. My aging accelerated, and I lost my sense of self and became something else. Megumi and Yuta ask what Kenjaku's plan is and how they can free Gojo from the prison realm. Tengen says, I'll answer your questions, but I want something in return. There are 3 special grades here, Yuta, Yuki, and Choso. I want 2 of them to stay here and protect me as my guards. Yuta asks, protect you from what? You're immortal. Maki says, are you afraid of being sealed in the prison realm too? Yuki adds, at least tell us why you need guards, and for how long. Tengen starts explaining Kenjaku's plan. Kenjaku wants to force the evolution of all of Japan. Megumi says, he could do that with idle transfiguration, right? Tengen replies, he doesn't have enough cursed energy for that. That's why he plans to use a merger between humanity and me. Megumi says, but you can only merge with a star plasma vessel, right? Tengen replies, that was true until 12 years ago. My merger failed back then, and I evolved. Now I can merge with ordinary humans too. Choso says, but you're just one being, how will you merge with so many people? Tengen answers, what you're seeing isn't my true form. My soul exists elsewhere. Earth and sky are the same to me. Those who merge with me will surpass even Jujutsu sorcerers. I keep myself in check using my barrier technique, but normal humans won't be able to. If even one person loses control, the world will end. Without restraint, humans will keep committing evil and cross every line. What happened in Tokyo will spread across the entire world. Yuji asks, why does Kenjaku want to do this? Tengen says, I don't know. I told you, I can't see into the human heart. Maki says, then just refuse the merger. That'll stop him, right? Tengen replies, because I've evolved, I'm now more cursed than human. Kenjaku can use cursed spirit manipulation on me, which lets him enslave curses and control them. That's why I need guards, because Kenjaku could break my barrier and come here anytime. Yuki says, but why now? He stopped the merger 12 years ago, letting you evolve into something he can now control. He's connected to Sukuna and has been a Jujutsu sorcerer for nearly 1,000 years, so why start the merger now? Tengen explains, the star plasma vessel, the 6 Eyes, and I are bound by fate. 6 Eyes users defeated Kenjaku twice. Enraged, he killed all star plasma vessels, and if a child with the 6 Eyes was born, he'd eliminate them within a month. Yet on the day of the merger, a star plasma vessel and a 6 Eyes user would always appear. So he decided to seal the 6 Eyes instead of killing them, using the prison realm. Only one 6 Eyes user can exist at a time, but 12 years ago, something changed. Toji Zenin appeared. He had the gift of heavenly restriction and existence with 0 cursed energy. He overturned our destiny and killed Riko, the star plasma vessel. From that day, everything began to fall apart. 6 years ago, Kenjaku obtained the prison realm and sealed Gojo. Megumi asks, then what is the culling game? Tengen replies, the culling game is a ritual before the merger. Kenjaku will use the cursed energy of its participants to merge me with all of Japan. To perform a ritual on that scale, he's bound himself with binding vows. That's why he isn't the game master. The bad news is even if Kenjaku dies, the game won't stop. The game only ends when all players die or stop participating. It's not written anywhere, but if a player reaches 100 points, they can add a new rule to the game. Yuta says, so we have to participate, earn 100 points somehow, and add a rule letting Tsumaki and others leave the game voluntarily.
Megumi adds, and we have to free Gojo-sensei. If Gojo returns, there's nothing to worry about. They ask Tengen how to free Gojo.
Tengen says, first decide who will stay here as my guard.
Choso and Yuki both agree to stay. Choso says Yuta needs to stay with Yuji, and he also has an old score to settle with Kenjaku. Yuki says she needs to talk to Tengen about some things, and Yuta wants to be with his friends anyway.
Tengen then takes out a box that looks like the prison realm and says, this is the back door of the prison realm.
By opening it, we can free Gojo.
But to open it, we need a cursed object like the inverted spear of heaven or the black rope objects that cancel cursed techniques.
Unfortunately, Gojo already destroyed both.
Yuta says he and Miguel went to Africa to look for the black rope, but found nothing.
Tengen replies, then there's only one option left.
Among the culling game players is an ancient sorcerer who calls herself Angel.
She can delete any cursed technique. Her name is Hana Kurusu. If she wants, she can open the prison realm's door. She'll be in the Tokyo colony. There are 10 colony barriers across Japan, all connected by a boundary line. When that line crosses Japan, everyone in the country will merge with me. Only Hokkaido is safe, because that's where Jujutsu headquarters are, its sacred ground. This ritual should be completed in about 2 months. They review the culling game rules. Rule 1, all players must participate within 19 days. On November 1st, Kenjaku awakened many people, including Megumi's sister. Today is November 9th, meaning Tsumaki has 10 days left to enter the game. Rule 2, those who don't participate will have their curse technique removed, which basically means death. Maki spoke to Shoko, who confirmed that something happens to the brain, otherwise, no one would participate. Maki says, so people like me, who don't have a technique, aren't at risk. Same with Panda, he doesn't even have a brain. Rule 3, anyone who enters a colony becomes a player, whether sorcerer or civilian. Those already inside get one chance to leave. Rule 4, killing others earns points. Rule 5, killing a sorcerer gives 5 points, killing a non-sorcerer gives 1. Megumi asks who the game master is. Tengen explains that each player gets a shikigami called Kogen, which serves as the game's interface. The real game master watches from behind the scenes. Rule 6, a player who reaches 100 points can add a new rule, but can't remove existing ones. Rule 7, the game master must accept the new rule, as long as it doesn't greatly affect the game. People worry about unfairness, but Tengen says Kenjaku can't cheat beyond these rules. Rule 8 and final, if a player's points don't change for 19 days, they're eliminated. Yuji says, so we have to kill someone. Megumi replies that he has an idea. Now that they know the game and all the info, Yuki and Choso will stay to protect Tengen. Maki will return to the Zenin clan to retrieve cursed tools. After Gojo was sealed, all cursed tools at Jujutsu High were taken by the Zenin and Kumo clans, but since Megumi is now the Zenin head, he can reclaim them. Yuji is shocked by this, and Megumi says he'll explain later. Maki asks Tengen for Juzo's location and plans to take Panda with her to enter the game. Yuta says he'll enter the culling game immediately to gather information early. They decide to enter different colonies to avoid fighting each other. Signals may not work inside colonies, so they won't be able to call, but if Yuta stays away from Yuji and Sukuna comes out, Megumi says that won't happen, and if it does, he should be killed after Megumi dies. Maki tells Yuji and Megumi to go see Hikari, a suspended third-year student. They're short on people, so they need Hikari too. Yuji asks if he's strong. Yuta replies, he's kind of a troublemaker, but he's stronger than me, so they'll definitely bring him into the game. They begin to leave. Yuki and Choso stay behind. Yuji thanks Choso for helping so much. Choso tells his little brother to stay alive and quietly starts crying. On the other side, we see a comedian named Takaba. Watching him, people start getting bored and tell him to quit this job already. They say he's 35 years old now, no one laughs at his jokes, and he should find some other work that actually suits him. His partner, Ken, speaks up and says, I like your jokes. He adds that there are 2 kinds of comedians in the world, the ones who are genuinely funny and always stay popular, and the ones who think they're funny. He asks Takaba which type he belongs to. Takaba first says it's 50-50, but then changes his answer and says it's 70-30. And that's when we find out that Takaba is also a player participating in the culling game. The episode ends right here. So friends, don't miss the next episode at all, because something really big is about to happen, especially for Maki fans. If you liked the video, make sure to like and share it. Drop a comment and tell us how you felt about this episode. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel by Per Anime Explained yet, subscribe now and hit the bell icon.